everybody. Thank you for joining us for From the Gates of Jerusalem. This week we have a really special episode for you. It's the High Holy Days here in Jerusalem. We've just gone through Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and now we're in the middle of Sukkot, and we just want to share a little bit with you about what's going on here in the city.
Yeah, there's really no greater joy than to be here in this time of year. We've started with Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year in the Hebrew calendar. And to me, I've gotten so used to celebrating that way that it's really the new year to me. It's hard for me to go back to the Roman calendar now and think of January as the new year. My season starts now with Rosh Hashanah, according to the Hebrew New Year. And so that's just kind of what happens whenever you get in God's timing and on God's calendar. And then after that we have Yom Kippur, where we have fasting all day long in Israel. The reason that everyone in Israel, in Jewish culture, fast is for the repentance of their sins. Now, us as believers that Jesus is our Messiah, we believe that He already was the ultimate atonement for our sins. So you can fast on Yom Kippur or choose not to fast. And then after that, we go into an extreme contrast. 5 days from Yom Kippur, we have the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, and it is a feasting time. There's a lot of eating that happens around Sukkot. I think pretty much the whole holiday for a week is really about eating. It's about being together with your family. It's a holiday that children really enjoy. And, in this time of year, you're supposed to eat every single meal underneath your tabernacle, your temporary dwelling that you make. And so these are really fun times to be in Israel. People pour in from all over the world during this time of year, and it's really just a wonderful time to be here. Jewish people from all over the world come, Christian people from all over the world come, and it's just very exciting. Something that I saw a couple of years ago in one of the streets that runs through the center of Jerusalem was the Christian parade, and I think it's the ICEJ, the Christian embassy that hosts this ingathering of Christians, and I think they've been doing it longer than probably anybody in Israel. But whenever I saw this parade a few years ago, all the Christians that had come from all over the world, it just made me cry, because it's really one of the most beautiful things in the world. And I don't know how many people it is. I'm sure it's at least 10,000 people that come at one time specifically for this feast. And so that's been an organization that has been really instrumental in gathering Christians into Israel during this time of year.
This year we had a really special experience with the holidays. Our good friend Abir Nasi took me out on Yom Kippur to the Western Wall in the Old City, and we got to see as thousands and thousands of people poured in from all over Jerusalem and from all over Israel and all over the world to celebrate the feast, and what a special time that was. Tonight is the most exciting night of the year here in the Old City of Jerusalem. We're sitting here on a rooftop overlooking the Western Wall, where tens of thousands of Jewish people have gathered from all over Israel and all over the world to seek atonement for their sins. Tomorrow is Yom Kippur, and we're excited to be here and join in the celebration. Today we have a very special guest here with us, Mr. Abir Nasi. He's also a good friend of ours. Most of you probably remember him from starting the Year Off Right conference in January, when he came with Amber and I and shared a little bit with us at Glory of Zion about his family's history and how his family ended up settled here in Jerusalem. So I've asked him today to share a little bit more about that with us, and also lead into how special the holidays are here in Jerusalem and what that means to us.
First of all, Daniel, it's a pleasure to be with you. We already know each other more than a year. It's really a pleasure, and I think it's a good idea for me from time to time to talk about the Jewish holidays, and just to show, after all, for my father's side, I'm 4 generations in Jerusalem, and it's to share my feelings here in Jerusalem with you and with your people. It's really a pleasure for me. So I'm very happy, like 3-4 days ago, I took you in the middle of the night to show in the Western Wall that maybe more than 250,000 people, 12 o'clock at night, gathered together in the Western Wall and to have a scream to God to ask for forgiveness. This is, how can, to explain you people in the States, 2 days before Yom Kippur, an Arab terrorist shot in the street of Jerusalem and he killed 2 people, innocent people in the streets of Jerusalem. And I was surprised to see 250,000 people coming to the Western Wall 2 days afterwards. Like when you believe in God, you have no fear. Nobody can beat us because we are believers. And for the last 2,000 years, from the time of the Romans in Jerusalem, we are back in Jerusalem. 2,000 years ago, we deported out of Jerusalem, and today, after 2,000 years, we are back in Jerusalem. And it's a miracle. Really and truly, it's a miracle. And I said in the church, and I will say today for the Sukkot, tonight we celebrate the Sukkot. The most important things for you people to know, God doesn't love the Jewish people. He's crazy about us. And it's a fact. You see it, Daniel, you live in Jerusalem.
That's the truth.
It's a miracle. All the Arab nations surrounding us, they try to finish with us. Impossible. Why? As I said, we have God on top. He's taking care of us. You can see every second and every minute that we have here the glory of Zion and the glory of God upon my people. And you are part of the picture too, Daniel.
That was such a special experience the other day when you took me up there to the Western Wall for Yom Kippur to just see the tens of thousands of people that rushed into the city and how the courtyard was just filled there in front of the Western Wall. And what the Lord began speaking to me while we were there was Psalms 118, where he says, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." And that's just all I could hear just ringing in my ears over and over again while we were there is, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." And to watch as the Lord just pours out his blessing here in this nation as he protects the Jewish people and as they come together to honor him on the set holidays for that is just an incredible experience and something that I'm so blessed to be a part of.
Yeah, and only 2 days ago, the United Nations, they say they had resolutions that the Jewish people had nothing to do with the Western Wall. Can you believe it? When you open the Bible and you see how many times, hundreds of times that Jerusalem mentioned in the Bible, suddenly the United Nations deciding that we have nothing to do with Jerusalem. So listen, the people of the United Nations that don't believe in the Bible, open the Quran and you show me in one place if the word Jerusalem mentioned. Nowhere. We are going to another subject, but it's amazing, but it's irritating me that here we are sitting here as a believers, and suddenly the United Nations, this is the people who control the world. They say that the Jewish people have nothing to do with Jerusalem. So if we don't have nothing to do with Jerusalem, maybe we should close the country and goodbye Columbus.
This is one of the biggest struggles really that we have here in Jerusalem is how world powers and different people continually try to redefine what the Lord said about this city and about this place. And even as the UN would do that, the Lord has already spoken his promises over Jerusalem and his heart over Jerusalem. And for us as Christians to come into alignment with what the Lord has spoken over this land is our greatest honor. And that's how the Lord pours out his blessings once again on us. So we live with that. We're steadfast in what we believe about Jerusalem. And we just pray and we thank the Lord that he's steadfast in his promise and fulfilling his promises over Jerusalem.
Daniel, I sit with you here as my brother. You are part of the picture. As a Gentile, King David says that my house going to be for all the nations. Why God chose me until today, I don't understand, but it's a fact. He chose me. Why? I don't know. But it's a fact. And you and all the people surrounding you, all the believers, you are part of the picture. The third temple not going to be only for the Jewish people, it's going to be for all the believers who believe in the Jewish faith, in the Bible, and in Jerusalem. This is the heart of the nation, Jerusalem. Without Jerusalem, we are nothing. 3 times a day we are praying to the east, in other words, to Jerusalem. And suddenly, I mean, it's amazing resolution. I mean, I don't want to go back to this matter, but it's really irritated me. But let me tell you that you know it very well. God is with us. That's the good news.
God is with us very much. And, you know, our real strength in life is the fact that we stand together. And as Jews and Gentiles stand together as the Bible laid forth for us, that's our strength. That's our strength here in this nation, and that's our strength as a body in the world and a body of believers. As we stand together with the Jewish people, we're part of the promise that God has for us. And as we move forward into the future and God begins to fulfill those things that He's laid out in the Bible, it's very key and foundational that we stand together with the Jewish people.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.